Hi Gemini, welcome to your 2019 yearly forecast with me, Anushka. We're going to look at some of the astrology as well as numerology and tarot for this reading. So to start off with, this year is going to be a 3 numerological year. And 3 is a very vibrant number. It's about communication and joy and friendship and happiness. It's about creativity and self-expression. And so we're all going to be able to tap into these energies during this 3-number year. But of course, what I would recommend is that you go to the link that I'll pin to the top of the comment section, where you can figure out what your personal year number will be. So you add 3 to your date of birth and you'll find your personal year number. And I've done a write-up on my blog about all the different personal year numbers there. So I'll give you even more insight into what this year might hold for you, okay? But the overall energy is that 3: creativity, self-expressive, joyful energy. Now the thing is, this is lovely energy, and in order to achieve this, in order to welcome this into our lives, we need to have the courage to go after the things we want, the things that bring us joy. We need to have the courage to be open to receiving the things that we really desire. And sometimes tied into what we desire can be a lot of fear. And I think for you this year, Gemini, this is what you're going to be clearing out over the course of the next year and a half, in fact, because the North Node has now moved into Cancer with the South Node in Capricorn, and this is your 2nd house and your 8th house. And what this says to me is that this is where the eclipse is going to be happening, okay? So this is where you're going to see a lot of change, or a need for transformation, a need for change, a need for new starts, and a need to let go of things. And so for you, you're looking at letting go when it comes to things that hold you back, okay? Things of the 8th house that hold you back. So this is to do with self-defeating habits. This is to do with ways in which I get in my own way, negative thinking, childhood wounds, hurts that I've been carrying for a long time, self-doubt, unworthiness. These are things that you are being asked to let go of. And so if we want to create that and tap into that 3 energy of the year, you're going to find that in order to bring more of that energy into yourself, you're going to have to release the energy that you're using to hold on to the negativity, okay? So we all have in some area of our lives places where we need to level up and we need to mature and we need to grow. For you, the 8th house has really been highlighted for quite some time now. Pluto has been there for a while, asking you to transform in terms of your psychology, in terms of your thinking, it's probably been stirring things up, perhaps even causing some issues when it comes to intimacy and close relationships. Saturn moved into this area as well. Sorry, I got something on my lip. Saturn moved into this area as well last year. And Saturn wants us to mature in whatever area of life he moves into. So Saturn is saying, okay, you need to mature, you need to grow here. And with the eclipses, the South Node being in your 8th house, this is the area where you're going to be asked to release. So it's about releasing, like I said, blockages and ties to ways of thinking and feeling that really pull you back and tell you that you can't have what you want in life, or you can't have the intimacy or the partner that you want. So this is what you're going to be working with very much so over the course of the next year. And doing the work will lead to favors as we get into 2019 and 2020. But this year has potential to be great for you as well. It just might mean that you have to go deeper in order to get more of what you want out of life, okay? None of us really want to face the dark stuff in ourselves. It can be very painful and it can be quite, it's very confronting, you know, but there always comes a time when we just have to, when we know we do, and we feel the call. And life shows us that actually it's time to let go of these things that are no longer helping us and they just make us feel bad about ourselves, because you are a beautiful soul. You deserve to have a beautiful and wonderful life. Okay, so do you know how I see this? I tend to see human beings as a cup, you know, and it's like we're born as these perfect little cups or glasses, and then things happen, you know. Parents are never perfect, although they do their best, and society affects us, and school affects us, and relationships affect us, and we have these cracks and holes start to appear. And there's only so much water that we can hold. And if we want more, if we really want to fill that cup up, fill up our mug, then we have to repair the cracks. We have to let go of whatever it is that's causing us pain so that we can hold more energy for love. And that's essentially what you're going to be finding yourself working on over the course of the next year and a half or so, okay? And this is going to be really good for you. You know, some of you might find that you're gaining a deeper insight into yourself through things like astrology or tarot or psychology and counseling. What I love is that Jupiter is in your 7th house. And Jupiter opposes you. Jupiter is your opposing sign, right? Sorry, start again. Sagittarius is your opposing sign, and Jupiter is now in Sagittarius. So this means that you have got opportunities to have help come in, and luck and growth from other people in your life who want to assist you. Teachers, guides, gurus may come into your life. People want to be there for you, okay? And perhaps that's part of the reason why you're thinking to yourself, well, you know, this could also mean that you meet someone that you really like, or that you end up getting married, Jupiter being there in your 7th house. Jupiter is connected to marriage. So this could be part of the reason why you're starting to realize, okay, I need to let go of some of the emotional issues I've had for such a long time, because I've met somebody who I really love and I really care about, and I want to be able to be fully me in this relationship and fully present. So there are positive things happening this year for you, definitely, and any planets that you have in Gemini, or any points in Gemini, are going to be affected by that Jupiter in Sagittarius. But this does bring luck to things like PR, business partnerships, romantic partnerships, anything that's one-on-one, you know, especially if you work with people one-on-one. You might see your clients becoming clients who are far bigger, you know, maybe they're famous, they have a lot more money, or they want to spend a lot more money with you. This can see a lot of opportunity and luck coming in through clients if you work in that kind of an industry where you have one-on-ones with clients. And like I said, this is a good time for PR as well. So, you know, if you're starting a business as well with a partner, this could be a time when you really see your business start to grow. But all in all, the work for you is about where Saturn and Pluto are, okay? Because you're being asked to understand the structure of your own psychology and your own psychological makeup on a much deeper level, in order to free yourself of what it is you no longer need. Now, we've got Uranus in that 11th house, okay, up until March the 6th. So Uranus has been shaking things up in the terms of your friends, your social circle, and the communities in which you belong. You've been looking at who needs to stay, who needs to go. So you can see a theme here about relationships, can't you? And what comes with you, intimacy, what stays, what goes, okay? And who you align yourself with. You've been looking at all these things, and they've been in a state of change. And then on March the 6th, Uranus will move into the 12th house, where this is more about what is hidden, okay? This is about our karma. This is also the house where, you know, it's the house where we can have, once again, things going on here that trip us up, that are self-defeating. So Uranus is going to be changing you on a very deep and profound level, and in ways that you might not really realize very consciously, especially at first. But you will find that you go through change, very fundamental, spiritual, psychological, emotional change. And it's almost like clearing out the dust, clearing out the cobwebs of your inner psyche. So this pattern is going on in your 8th house and in your 12th house, clearing you out so that you can really be renewed. And as we move forward throughout the years, you're going to really start to come into your own. But we'll talk more about that as we go forward. So Neptune is in Pisces as well, up in that 10th house. Neptune, that dreamy kind of, you know, planet up there. Now this is bringing intuition to what you do in the world. So you could be bringing more intuition into your work, more creativity, perhaps a feeling of spirituality into what you do. Maybe you're giving it, maybe it's suddenly taken on a new sense of meaning for you. On the other hand, this can also be feeling a little bit foggy about which direction to go in. If you are feeling that way, don't fret too much and don't push unnecessarily, I would say, only because you're doing so much work on the inside, and that is really what is of the most importance. This year is really about your needs and what's important to you, and looking after yourself, okay? Cancer is in, the North Node is in Cancer, which is about nurturing. It's about looking after yourself. So this year I want you to really focus on nurturing yourself, building up your talents, your resources, your self-belief, your self-esteem, letting go of things that no longer serve you, you know, mental chatter that doesn't work for you. And the more you do that, the more then you're able to be there for other people. Now this can see changes happening in your partner's income, in your partner's resources as well, and more focus put onto what you earn and what you can do. This is really a time to be looking more at what you want, what you desire, what you can build, and what you do, okay? So I wanted to mention as well, before I go into the eclipses, that the first 2 months of this year, we have no retrograde planets. So if you want to put anything into action, then you'll find things that flow a lot more easily. And it should be a lot more of a sense of ease with moving forward for the first 2 months, okay? So that's really positive. Like I said, you know, there's a lot of energy for creativity this year, and I would really look to your friendships for support, especially if you are doing the inner work. You know, so have deep and intimate and vulnerable discussions with people and say, you know, what do you see in me? What do you see that I do that holds myself back? You know, where do you think I'm too hard on myself? Don't be afraid to have those conversations, because I think people are really going to want to be there for you this year. You know, in a really kind of magnanimous and generous way. Okay, Gemini, we're going to get into the eclipses now for your sign. Now, we have 3 eclipses happening in Capricorn, okay? Now, I'm just going to give you the dates for them. 3 eclipses happening in your 8th house this year. So the first one is January the 6th. The second one is July the 16th. And the third one is December the 26th, okay? So those are 3. So this is saying that this is about letting go of that. And do you know what's actually really interesting as well? No, scratch that, don't worry. I was going to say something that doesn't make sense. So all of these eclipses happening in the 8th house, it's about letting go of any negative self-chatter, any negative beliefs. Now the numerology for the first 2 eclipses is 6. And 6 is about healing and harmony. So the numerology is also saying, you know, this is a time where you can really heal inwardly. You can let go of the psychology that does not assist you anymore and move forward. So there's healing and harmonizing energy to these first 2 eclipses. And the last one on December the 26th in your 8th house actually is a 4. So this is about grounding. So what I see happening with these 3 eclipses is the first 2, you're clearing out, you're healing. And then we get to December the 26th, and this final eclipse is almost like it's put you in this more grounded space where it's like you've done the work, and now you have this more grounded and honest and compassionate and healed sense of self, and you're feeling more stable within yourself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a card for these particular eclipses to see what advice comes through. Okay, wow, yeah, I love that. So the 4 of Swords. So the 4 of Swords is about rest and retreat. When we have the 4 of Swords, it's time for us to go inwards. It is time for us to really take the focus off of the outer world and meditate, spend time by ourselves in silence or however we choose, but to really go inward. Now notice it's a 4, you know, and I said the eclipses in Capricorn end on a 4. Right? So this is almost like, this very much speaks to me of what I've been telling you. Go within, clear out the emotional debris, so and don't allow others' demands of you to pull you away from the work that needs to be done, okay? Give yourself the time that you need to be able to meditate, to be able to heal, to be able to discuss, whether it's with a counselor, whether it's with a good friend, whether it's to journal, you know, or discuss the things that you feel you need to get out into the open in order to move forward. So this is what these eclipses are going to be about. They're a time of healing, a time of going within and doing very deep work on yourself. That is the perfect card to come up, and I love that. Okay, and the second card that I've pulled here, as you can see, I've got the Ten of Swords. Okay, oh sorry, Ten of Swords. So this is saying an ending. And I love the Ten of Swords because it has the orange in the horizon, which tells us that, okay, it's almost like there's been an ego death, which essentially is what we're asking you to do, Gemini, this year. It's what I'm asking you to do. Have an ego death. Ego doesn't always, ego doesn't always mean that we're full of ourselves and that we think we're amazing. Quite often, a lot of us have egos that are addicted to talking us down, to making us feel awful about ourselves. This is an ego death. This is the ego death I want you to have, and I think you will have. 10 is about completion, so I'm really happy. And once again, swords. So I really think that a lot of the pain and a lot of where you hold yourself back, Gemini, is in the area of your mental chatter and mental spheres. You are ruled by Mercury after all. So this is about no more negative self-talk, no more negative beliefs, no more negative views about yourself. You're going to be working on killing this off, essentially, and coming through to positivity. So those are actually really positive cards, even though they don't look that exciting. That's what these three eclipses are going to be about for you. So bear that in mind, okay? January the 6th, July the 16th, and December the 26th, okay? Harmony, healing, stability, harmony and healing leading to stability and security within yourself. All right, then moving on to the eclipse that we have in Leo at 0 degrees. That's on January the 21st, okay? Now for you, Leo rules your third house of communication, short distance travel, okay? Of writing, siblings, things like that, okay? So the 0 is cool because the 0 is a reset. So this is seeing a reset in terms of perhaps some of you are making up with a sibling. Perhaps some of the pain has to do with a fracture in the family. This can see some culmination as it relates to perhaps you've completed your learning in some study or in some field of study. Perhaps there's something within the community that's now come to a close that's allowing you more time to yourself, right? So this is a supermoon as well in that third house. For a lot of you, I feel like it will be to do with siblings and something coming to a close, perhaps some healing situation happening as it relates to brothers and sisters. I'm going to pull a card to gain a little bit more clarity. The nice thing about the 0 is it contains so much potential energy, so it's an opportunity to really create. Okay, so we've got the 8 of Pentacles. So I'm going to clarify on this. The 8 of Pentacles is about wealth, okay? It's about wealth well earned, enjoying your wealth, enjoying your money. Now this could be some culmination in terms of a community project or business that you've started, okay? Where it pays off and suddenly you get a big payout or you get some sort of recognition. You've also pulled the Fool as well. The Fool really is the 0 to a certain extent. So there's this feeling of new beginnings in terms of your community, your siblings, and writing, even creativity as well. Something is coming to a close, but in some way it's going to feel emotionally refreshing. It's going to feel like an emotional weight has been lifted. So maybe you've been burdened. Maybe you gave yourself some sort of project and it just took so much of your time. Something is coming to a head in a positive way, I think, for the majority of you, that will pay off quite nicely. But it's going to leave you feeling a lot lighter. It's like, now I have more time, or I have more freedom. Or perhaps, like I said, it's a sibling situation that gets resolved and now you feel lighter as a result. Okay? Right. And the other eclipse that we have in 2019 is in Cancer, okay? So this is going to be in your second house of your income, the money that you earn, and your talents, your self-esteem, okay? It's your resources, not just physical resources, but like I said, your talents, your time, your energy. So this is going to be a total solar eclipse, okay? And this is at 10 degrees, okay? So this is nice. The 10 becomes a 1. So you're starting, I feel like this work you're doing on yourself is, this inner work you're doing is giving you the faith in yourself that you can start something, or that you can initiate something from, something that originates from your own talents, your own abilities. It's almost like saying, it's almost like I see Gemini going, do you know what? I can start my own law firm. I can do that. Or I can start my own publishing company. Just, there's this feeling of faith coming in, and it relates to the healing work you've been doing. It's something that you want, and something that is to do with your income, is to do with money that you earn, is to do with your resources, your talents and your ability and your self-esteem. So there's a new, fresh opportunity and start happening here. And I like this. It's going to change. I think it's going to bring about change in how you make your money. And look, you drew the 6 of Wands, which is the victory card. So let's make sense of this. So the first 3 eclipses that I spoke about, the ones in Capricorn, we pulled the swords, okay, which showed us very much that it was about going within, it was about ego death, it was about healing. Like I said to you at the beginning of this reading, it's what's going to be needed this year. Healing in order to be able to welcome even more into your life, okay? That's great. Then we have this eclipse in Cancer in your second house, which is about a fresh start. You're initiating something. Maybe this is when you decide to start your own business, or go it alone in some way. Or maybe you're just feeling like you've got your self-esteem back, you've got your self-respect and self-worth back, and it's making you feel victorious. And people are going to want to celebrate you. People will be in support of you as well, I feel. And that's helped by that Jupiter in your opposite sign, in your 7th house, bringing opportunities, luck, and expansion through other people, okay? I really, really like this for you. So I'm going to pull a Colette Baron Reid card. These are called the Enchanted Map, these cards, and we're just going to round off the reading with one of these. And as well, we're going to do Earth Warriors, sorry. Yeah, I feel like a lot of you are having to dive deep. And I resist it myself sometimes still. But one thing I always know, whenever I'm going through a period which is really tough, or where I feel really down, or it's just particularly confronting, I always know that with each load that I face, I am lightening myself, and that I can only welcome in even more positivity with everything I let go of, with everything that I confront. And that is the beauty of it. And it's constant. It never ends, unfortunately. That might sound really bad to some of you, but it never ends, this kind of growth. Dry Desert. This is a card that you pulled. Right. I've never actually pulled this one before, so I'm very intrigued to know. Okay, here we go. Dry Desert. Dig deep for inspiration and truth. Now is the time to become resilient and adaptable. This is perfect. Okay, so, is your life presenting you with opportunities that seem to yield nothing? Have your ideas dried up? Does it feel like you're on an endless journey through a dry, hot, lifeless desert? This card reminds you that there are times when you're meant to become resilient, as you journey through harsher circumstances. You're being required to conserve your energy until after consistent effort you reach the oasis you're searching for. That conservation of energy reminds me of the 4 of Swords that we pulled at the beginning, right? Conserve your energy, go deep. Consider the creatures that live in these conditions. They have adapted to thrive in spite of the outer environment. In a desert, water essential for life can be found deep underground. Go deep within yourself now. Find your truth there. Let spirit sustain you whilst you locate the real source. Whatever it is you're asking about will not be found in the conditions you're in until you move past the surface of things and choose to do the real work and discover the answers deep within you. This may not seem like the most productive time, but looks are deceiving. This is a most important place to find what's truly right for you. Couldn't have picked a better card, could we? There we go. So I think it's great, and you know, when we do the work to clear out our emotional and psychological baggage, we end up shooting forward in life so much quicker than if we hadn't, because it's the reason we call it baggage, right? It weighs us down. It's hard to move forward easily and with fluidity when you have baggage. When you're free of baggage, it's a lot easier. You're a lot lighter, okay? Oops. So now I'm just going to do one last card, the Earth Warriors Oracle cards, and I love these cards. Okay, let's see what we've got for you. Lovely. So you pulled Ingonyama, Honor of the Ancient King, the Lion. So, Gemini, I believe you will have the strength to get through this, okay? In fact, I know you do. The Ancient King of the Zulu brings you an empowering message. You are destined to know and experience what it is to be truly empowered. I love this. The 8th house is about power. Start again. The 8th house is about power and powerlessness, so this fits. Your voice, your courage, your wisdom, and your dignity can create considerable spiritual light, uplifting and inspiring others, guiding them from a place of spiritual truth towards the fulfillment of their own divine potential. If you've been doubting yourself or feeling unworthy of the boldness of your visions, you must allow your spirit to roar, for you shall conquer all obstacles and succeed in your heart's desires. This oracle indicates awakening and the healing and strengthening of divine masculine energy within the soul to take the initiative and to lead with wisdom. Healing of masculinity is relevant at both physical and psychological levels. Wow. Conserve your energy, get plenty of rest, but when the time is right, let your soul roar and your true voice can be heard without hesitation or fear. Wow, okay, so I think it's pretty clear. You have the strength to do what's needed, okay? But this is definitely a time for healing, and there will be people there who will help you along your path and your journey. Thank you so much for watching, Gemini. I hope you have a wonderful 2019. Take care.